This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Something unexpected happened after Jeremy Scott confessed to killing Michelle Schofield in Bone Valley Season 1.
Every time I hear about my dad, it's, oh, he's a killer. He's just straight evil.
I was becoming the bridge between Jeremy Scott and the son he'd never known.
At the end of the day, I'm literally a son of a killer.
Listen to new episodes of Bone Valley Season 2 starting April 9th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Man.
Come hang with KFAN's Justin Guard at Tom's Watch Bar in Minneapolis this Thursday at 8:30 for a KFAN Wolves watch party. We'll have Timberwolves versus Grizzlies live on the big screens, delicious food and drinks, and your chance to secure exclusive KFAN swag and a chance to qualify for Wolves season finale tickets. Get all the details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Pass, Common Man program. I'm Common. He's Tenna. Time now for 534.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
By the way, Tenneby,
Question number 1.
Has Leo ever asked you how you got the name Tenneby?
I don't know if he has or not.
No. Because would you look at him and just say, you know, it's really not that good of a story?
Yes, that's exactly what I would tell him.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just dawned on me. We're gonna win. Sorry to interrupt. We're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
I even interrupt myself. So.
Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
Twins dropped a 3-7 on the season after losing 4-2 last night in Kansas City. Simeon Woods-Richardson gave up 4 runs on 8 hits over 5 2/3 innings. Willie Castro's RBI double and Harrison Bader's RBI single were the only offense the Twins could muster. Twins are off to their worst start through 10 games since they went 1-9 to begin the 2016 season. Common, is it time to panic yet?
Well, there goes the next segment. I had all that. I actually did the research and had all those bullet points, but we'll still get to it again anyways. I don't know. No, it's the old sprint and marathon and all that, but everything I was promised by Lavelle Lee Neal III has not come to fruition. He said, we will swing the sticks. And I was told our pitching staff is top 5, bullpen top 5. We're going to win, Twins. We're going to score. I'll ask the same question to the Polet Pocket Protectors, Twins fans everywhere, the ones that are of the Ducky and Bunny ilk, that they're hashtag faith kind of people. How long is it going to take for this team to gel? Because I asked that about the Wolves, and I was told 20 games, and then I was told 30 games, and I was told 40, 50, 60, 70, and finally at 75 games, they are starting to gel. So better late than never. Though if you would have gelled earlier, you might not be battling for that, you know, to try to stay out of that 7, 8, 9, 10 play-in series of games. But, yeah, it's early enough, but yeah, they're not getting key hits they're the 3 players that are supposed to carry this team offensively, Lewis, Buxton, and Correa. Lewis hasn't even played. We talked yesterday about how he's running 3 times a day now, so could be ready to play sometime soon. But both Buxton and Correa has been just awful at the plate, and Correa hasn't been much better. So, yeah, there hasn't been a pitcher. I think yesterday was the first time a Twins starter, I think if I read this correct, is the first time Simeon Woods-Richardson was the first starter to get an out in the 6th inning. No other starter has gotten an out in the 6th inning.
You've got to be kidding me.
And I know baseball's different than it used to be. Guys don't go much more than 6 innings anyways, but when you don't even get an out in the 6th inning, the starting staff has not been doing what they're supposed to do.
Question number 2.
And now here goes the next thing.
Luckily, Rosen coming at 2 o'clock.
Correct.
Common, which Masters pairings intrigues you the most? And here's a lot of them. I hope you're listening. A, Colin Morikawa, Joaquin Niemann, Minwoo Lee. B, Phil Mickelson, Jason Day, Keegan Bradley. C, Scotty Scheffler, Justin Thomas, Jose Luis Ballester. D, Brooks Koepka, Russell Henley, Sung Jae Im. E, Adam Scott, Xander Schauffele, Victor Hovland. F, Rory McIlroy, Ludwig Oberg, Akshay Bhatia. G, Hideki Matsuyama, Bryson DeChambeau, Shane Lowry. Or H, John Rahm, Wyndham Clark, Tommy Fleetwood.
G and F. Toss up.
Yeah.
I like Lowry a lot. Who's he playing with? Is he playing with
DeChambeau and Matsuyama?
And Matsuyama's one, and I love the way he plays the game. And DeChambeau's fun. I mean, he's nuts, the scientific guy. But and I would pick that group for sure if he's having trouble off the tee, because I would like to just watch him scramble all day. They would show more and more.
They should just have a Bryson cam.
Even if he's 8-10 strokes over par opening round, I still want to watch him because I just love watching him spray shots all over the golf course. And then what was the group?
At the very least with Bryson, they should do like a picture-in-picture. They should bring that back, where it's like a Bryson cam in the upper corner. Then once he goes to shoot, you send it to him.
Correct.
But even just him discussing the shot and how he's going to play it, I want to see. We have to see that.
Yeah, where he says, should I hook it way left into the woods or should I block it way right into the woods? And then what was that other group I like? McIlroy and who else?
You said Rahm, Wyndham Clark, Tommy Fleetwood. Or else you could do the McIlroy, Oberg, Bhatia.
That's the one. I love Oberg's game. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Remember last year when he was in it and he hooked his iron shot in the final round into the pond on 11? I heard him somebody was talking about 11. It might have been Spieth. Or maybe it was Morikawa. They basically said, well, the only bailout is right, and that's not even a good bailout. It's like you got to hit the green is what you got to do, and it's very difficult to do. It's just a spectacular golf hole. I just love it. But and then McIlroy, I mean, this is the one. We'll talk more about it later.
Okay.
So go ahead and do the next question.
Question number 3. Programming predicament.
Yeah, the Twins play game 2 of their series in Kansas City at 6:40 p.m. tonight. That'll be on twins.tv. And the Timberwolves are in Milwaukee tonight, 7 o'clock on FanDuel Sports Network. You're going to be able to hear that game right here on the Fan tonight. Common, what are you going to do about tonight's
programming predicament?
First of all, someone says Pablo went 7 full innings against the Chi Sox in a 6-1 win on April 2nd. Okay. Then whatever was in the Fish Wrap Factory West.
I read that too, that you had...
Yeah.
What you were talking about earlier.
So whoever wrote it today, whether it was Bobby Nightingale or whoever, Phil Miller, whoever wrote it, that maybe their information is incorrect. Sorry. I'm not going to go back and look at every box score on my own. I just don't. I want to play golf in the morning. So programming predicament.
Yeah.
Twins and who?
You got Twins versus Royals and Timberwolves in Milwaukee.
Just sit right back.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a faithful trip.
My handheld computer knows I like Gilligan's Island. Is that sad? What do you think?
Well, they know everything about us.
But what do you think my handheld computer thinks about that? Does my handheld computer...
Does it judge you?
Does artificial intelligence roll their eyes, shrug their shoulders, and shake their head? Because they're probably going, Gilligan's Island? Really? Banana underpants? Really? But there was a story. 12 rare photographs from the set of Gilligan's Island. But it was cool. It was just fun to see these photographs of, when they're not acting. It's just behind the scenes stuff. It was pretty cool. I know I should watch the Wolves, but I wait for the playoffs. If I was going to watch one, I'd watch Twins. I guess, but I don't think
you would?
Yeah.
Given the importance of the Wolves-Milwaukee game tonight?
Yeah, but it doesn't...
Or you just enjoy the train wreck that is the Twins?
I'd rather watch the Twins lose, yeah. The other thing is what time does the Twins game start?
6:40.
What time does the Wolves game start?
7. Basically the same time.
I'll probably just be coming down 15th fairway. I'm playing golf when I get off the air.
Really?
I'm going to exit this studio so fast. The music won't even have ended. I'm not going to give the long goodbye today. I'm gone down this flight of stairs into the car and out to Woodbury. I'm going to play a little golf when I get off.
Lucky.
Thank you very much. So, but I suppose Twins I would watch. I'd click it over to the Wolves maybe. But then all of a sudden I break my record of not watching any Wolves basketball all year. And I don't want to do that.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually, 3 questions, but 5 sounds like
it's actually a better question for Rosie, because you know how much he loves the Wolves and thinks they don't have to be afraid of anybody?
Yeah.
And his favorite player is Bobby Witt Jr., who plays for Kansas City. So that's going to be a tough one for Rosie.
That will be.
That's a programming predicament for him. We'll break. We'll come back. I'm going to dissect that Twins game a little bit, and then the next segment, and then on the other side of the break, at 1:30, we'll talk a little Masters. All that and more here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
It's iHeartRadio Week, only on Wheel of Fortune. Tonight, one lucky contestant has the chance to win a trip to Los Angeles for an exclusive backstage pass to the most anticipated event of the holiday season, iHeartRadio's Jingle Ball. Watch Wheel of Fortune tonight. Check your local listings.
That sounds like a heck of a concert. I might want to show up with some friends.
Couple 13-14 past. Mark Rosen might be the godfather. I'm the sod father, because that's what I do is I play golf. I stomp the terra firma, as we like to say. A couple of 13-14 text messages have come into the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, 64686. I'm reading them while seated in the climate-controlled confines of the 651 Carpets Plus Studios. I've had my entire main level carpeted by 651 Carpets, and I'm a 100% satisfied customer. You will be too. 651 Carpets Plus, or 651carpets.com, whatever you want to do there. This text message says, do you warm up before a round, or are you one of those jerks that hops out of your car, runs up for your waiting foursome, and shoots a 75 to 77? I shoot a 75 to 77 often. I also can shoot 85 to 87. I never warm up. I usually don't show up right, but now today I'll have to, because I got to, it's an afternoon, I got to get out of here. But like in the morning, if I play, let's say I have a 6:30 tee time, I'm usually there by 6:10. 6:15, and but I don't warm up. I only have so many swings left in my body, and I'm not going to use them on a driving range. And when you play every day, Bruce Litsky was a longtime PGA Tour player, won a number of times on tour. Craig Warrion once told me, the legendary Craig Warrion, master professional, who was the swing coach for Frankie Sappin and among other really good golfers, including Teneby and myself. And he told me that Litsky was the kind of guy where he could have his clubs in the closet for a year, pull them out and go out and play and shoot 65.
Really?
Just that kind of a player. And I'm the same way. I don't need to warm up. You play every day. I've got it kind of figured out. Someone said, tomorrow morning will we get a wheel of topics for the round you played this afternoon? It might be a doubleheader, because I'm probably going to play tomorrow morning also. So we might do 2 wheel of topics. Thank you. And then there's this one. To go from Rockford Files to Gilligan's Island is just sad, really. And some people would say so. It's certainly Rockford Files, I think, would be considered more of a it's the word I'm looking for. Gilligan's Island.
Drama.
Yeah. There was drama and comedy, but just a better television show, right? Because Gilligan's Island, I think Rockford Files ran for 6 years, 6 or 8. Rockford won, James Garner won the Emmy for Best Actor in a Drama one year. His sidekick on the show, Angel, and I'll think of his name here, the actor, in a moment, but he won 2 Oscars for Best Supporting Actor, so it was a terrific show. But Gilligan's Island was it was only 3 seasons, but that was when seasons had like 30 episodes. There's like 100+ episodes of Gilligan's Island. And it was one of those, when you were a kid, I grew up with it. It was just a great show. It was silly, campy humor. It was fun. And obviously, they never did, as far as I know, ever leave the island. I think they all died there. I don't think they ever got home.
No! How did the final episode go? Do you remember?
They all died. They were killed and eaten by cannibal headhunters. Is what they were. No, I don't know. I don't even remember. Well, because I don't think they thought the show was over.
They didn't know. It just ended abruptly.
As a matter of fact, this is, as the legend goes, Okay, this is the legend, as legend goes. After they saw it was successful, many of the cast members started buying homes in Hollywood. And then allegedly, you could find this. Whoever was in charge of CBS, his wife really liked Bonanza, so they had to cancel one of the shows, so they decided to cancel Gilligan's Island. So that's how that happened.
You've got to be kidding me.
But so, yeah, I mean, Rockford Files is a better show, but Gilligan's Island is just, it's Gilligan's. That's what Deuce calls it, Gilligan's.
Are any of them still alive?
Tina Louise.
Is that Marianne?
No, that's Ginger.
Ginger.
Ginger still alive. Ginger. All the rest of them.
Let's do a one-episode show of her still on the island, even at her current age.
She likes to distance herself from the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's now.
Well, even now?
Even now. Well, yeah, even now. But I guess it's. I saw a story on her in one of the Daily Metropolitans. I don't remember which one it was now. They did an interview with her. She still likes people because she was a fairly serious actress before she got on the cast of Gilligan's Island. And I think she feels like her entire career has been reduced to being Ginger. And it's like the opposite. Alan Hale loved it. Alan Hale, who played the skipper, he's got hundreds of credits, movies, TV shows. He didn't care. Matter of fact, he liked the comedy stuff better than serious. He was in both, and he liked it. He loved his role. But some people didn't. Apparently, she didn't like her. And I guess like when they were on set, she would eat by herself. She never hung out with the other cast members. She was. Well, we've all worked with people like that. People that don't want to hang out with the other people at the radio station or and such like that. I mean, that happens.
Why are you looking at me?
You just seem to be that kind of a guy. I really wasn't thinking about you. I was thinking of somebody else, but we'll just leave that for another day. She didn't. Well, because the story goes, she claims that the network said they were going to build the show around her. So his ego was going to be more about her. Then it really ended up being more about Gilligan and the skipper.
Sure.
And then of course, Jim Backus kind of stole the show. When he's playing golf, he's made golf clubs out of bamboo shafts with clamshells for the thing. And he says, Gilligan's up and he says, and Lovey says something. He goes, "I'm not letting him play through." It's just so good.
I always love that one.
Oh, just genius. Sorry, Twins. I got lost. Twins. They lose to Kansas City. They are now 3-7. Here's the best part, tend to be. They're 2-1 versus the White Sox. 1-5 against everybody else. So I mean, if it wasn't for the White Sox, this team might not have a win. The only other win was they wedged a win in the middle of the series with Houston, right? Wasn't it the middle game? That's all they've been able to win. Now it's early, but that was it. I guess this was wrong. It said that Simeon Woods Richardson was the first Twin starter recorded out in the sixth inning. And you read that today as well.
I did.
But somebody told me that Pablo went 7, so obviously Pablo had to have retired somebody in the sixth inning, probably the seventh inning as well. So we'll go with what the text messenger said. They had 3 hits in the second inning. Tend to be they were starting to swing the sticks as Labella.
Pablo did go 7 against the White Sox in the 6-1 win. But I had read that same thing as you. So
Lavelli Neal III promised me the Twins will swing the sticks. He texted me that, and they did in the second inning. They had 3 hits. They had. In the other 8 innings, they had 4 combined hits. That's it, 4 hits in the other 8 innings. Baldelli was booted from the game in the 6th inning for arguing a pitch clock ruling. And apparently was one of those things where, this is the other thing, and I'm really not anti-technology. There are some things that I just don't think are necessary in technology, like, I like the wheel and fire. I think those really helped civilization get off the ground a little bit, because with fire you could like cook stuff. And then with the wheel.
It did say in the story only the second time a Twin starter recorded it out.
Okay, so here I am ripping. Is it Bobby Nightingale? I want to apologize to Bobby.
Well, maybe he went back and edited it after he heard us talking about it.
That's possible too. Because I thought I saw it was 1 first time.
I thought I saw that too, but you and I might just skim stuff instead of fully reading it.
Right.
It is Bobby Nightingale.
Yeah. He used to cover the Cincinnati Reds before he got here. He's really good at what he does. He's brilliant. So the technology stuff, it's PitchCast, PitchCom, Pitch something or other, where they have a little earpiece in, and that's how they get the pitch call, right? It used to be, they must not flash signals anymore, right? The catcher used to always do, he'd put down one finger, then two, then maybe three, and he would do it. Because in the story today, do you have the story up?
Sure.
Can you find it where it talks about Baldelli getting, he got kicked out of the game because they called a pitch clock violation on Simeon Woods Richardson.
So Woods Richardson stepped off the rubber with 7 seconds on the pitch clock when he couldn't hear the PitchCom device in his cap.
Yes, PitchCom device.
Catcher Christian Vasquez repeatedly jammed the button, allowing Woods Richardson to finally hear what pitch was called. Woods Richardson tried to start his windup with 2 seconds left on the clock, but Lentz raised his hand. That's the umpire. He deemed the sequence an attempted circumvention of the pitch timer regulations by the pitcher, disengaging while gesturing about a potential PitchCom issue, and then re-engaging late in an attempt to deliver a pitch prior to the expiration of the pitch timer did not allow the hitter the ability to remain alert and ready.
And Baldelli denies that. He says, we're behind or the count, whatever. He said, why would we be doing something like that? And he could be right. I don't know. I don't even know if the right decision was made. It's the PitchCom thing, though, that it's like, well, if the PitchCom isn't work, if you look at him and say, I can't hear you, shouldn't you have a set of signals and do hand signals at that point? To me, that's there has to be a better mechanism in place than just the PitchCom thing, because technology, that will happen. Sometimes we've had it happen here. The other day, we had an issue with the microphone, and what it ended up being, we had the volume on the phone, because PA or somebody must have been taking calls, or he had a guest on.
It's Fallness, I think.
The Fallness, and that was creating some type of almost like a hum of some sort of white noise. So technological things happen. If they're ready, you got to be prepared for that. I put that on Major League Baseball because everything we have, PitchCom. You don't have to have PitchCom. Go back to flashing the signs. That was part of the fun. Of course, they get stolen by the Houston Astros and they bang trash cans that way too. We'll take a break and come back and talk a little 89th edition of the Masters Golf Tournament being played at Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia this week. That's next here on The Fan.
Michelob Ultra Wolves watch party of the regular season. Join Max Fuller this Thursday at Brian's Bar and Grill in Stillwater at 8 p.m. to watch your Timberwolves in action and to sign up for your chance to qualify for first-round playoff tickets this season. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Pass Common Man program. I'm Common. He is Tennessee. Mark Rosen will join us just before 2 o'clock. A couple of text messages that have come in. This one says, Common, I know you once said you lived in Cambridge at one time. I grew up there on North Birch Street from 1973 to the 90s. Where did you live? I only lived in Cambridge a very short period of time. I used to commute there for work. I lived in Blaine and would drive up 65 North. I did live there for a short period of time. It was rented a cabin on a lake near there, and I can't remember the name of the lake. Snail Lake, Jail Lake, Fail Lake. I don't remember what it was, but I was only a very, very short period of time because I was fired from my job. And then there's this one that says, I'd rather hear you talk about Gilligan's Island than the Minnesota Twins. And I think most people would, at least people with the grunt. That's much more interesting. Similar storylines. Marooned on an island going nowhere fast with no chance for advancement. The Twins are marooned at Target Field or at Kauffman Stadium right now with no chance for advancement, and they seem to be doomed as well. Masters tend to be 89th playing of the Masters Golf Tournament at Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia. There are all sorts of storylines. I love live from as much as the next person. The morning version of it, they have a panel of like 4 or 5. And they get, because they're doing live from like 8 to 4. So there's 4 hours today, or 8 hours today of just talking golf. And so they obviously have to get into the minutia of it. As a matter of fact, the gal, and I don't recall her name, she was talking about, you can see where, I don't know which golfer she was talking about, when he's on the putting green, he's putting like, instead of like, if you were going to go warm up with the putting green, Teneby, you take 3 balls and just hit one after another, right? Yeah. She says, what this golfer's doing is hitting one, but putting as much time between the next one as if he was really playing the round of golf. So, because you wouldn't do that when you're golf, you don't go hit right away again. And she thought that was just really great. I'm just like, okay, I bet a lot of people do that. But anyway, I guess Scheffler is the favorite, right? I mean, he's the best player in the world, number 1 ranked. He's won 2 of the last 3 Masters. He's trying to repeat, first person. If he were to repeat, it's the first time since Woods did it in, did he win like 04 and 05? I don't remember which years he was, but he won back-to-back. He was the last person to win back-to-back green jackets. Playing pretty well. The last tournament he played in was it last week or the week before, when he rattled off 5 birdies to close the gap and almost won and ended up losing, but he's playing very good. They tell me Augusta National Golf Course is a second shot golf course, which means iron play is at a premium. And there's no bet when he's hitting his irons flush, he's probably the best iron player in the world, right? Maybe Morikawa could be a close second. And there's others. They all hit their irons well, but if you're starting to just break it down of who is the best, it's Scheffler. The thing with Scheffler, I think anybody that follows the game knows, tend to be that his putter can be balky. He'll have tournaments where he's missing that 5-footer, not every one, but he misses a couple, like sort of what McIlroy did last year at the U.S. Open when he lost at Pinehurst, number 2, when DeChambeau beat him. Remember, he had 2 relatively short putts, and he missed them both. And then the sand save by DeChambeau on the last hole, and it was a spectacular finish, devastating for McIlroy. Great moment for DeChambeau. I'm going to do the old. I'm not suggesting that Scheffler is absolutely going to win, but if he is hitting his irons like he is and keeps it in play, and at Augusta you can spray it around a little bit too. Yeah. If his putter is good, he's going to be hard to beat. He just is. He's that good.
Whenever his putter is good.
Yes, exactly. The McIlroy story, everybody knows it, right? It's the one major he's missing. There are only 5 players that have the career Grand Slam. Isn't that amazing? Only 5 players in the history of the game of golf have won all 4 major, not in a year. I mean, the Tiger Slam was the incredible one, right? Where he did it, and that was because he didn't do them in the same calendar year. He won
4 in a row, though.
Yeah, Open PGA Championship. Then he won the Masters the following year. So it was 4 in a row, but they were not at all in the same calendar year. So they kind of give it the Tiger Slam is what they call it, which is kind of cool when they name it an accomplishment in the world of sport after you. It's pretty sweet. I'm not I don't really root for guys or against guys when I watch golf, but and again, McIlroy's got everything he would want, right? He's got the wine, the women, the song, the money. He's already got he's already got major championships under his belt. But I could see, I would be, and I know this would mean a lot to him. I'd be delighted if he won a green jacket. I think it would be a great story. But again, it's that.
It seems like he's almost wanted it too much. You can kind of sense he's put himself in position multiple times, and I feel like you want it so much, the pressure's getting to you. And I think that is basically what his issue has been. It seems as though, and maybe you could look back, I think it seems like in most, and maybe I got the wrong player. Maybe it's not McIlroy. But it seems like his first round at Augusta is always not very good. And so then he's behind the 8 ball right away. He might make a run on Saturday, but he's never close enough.
He's never got the first round lead or just a shot or 2 off. And again, you're right. When you want something that badly, it sometimes can work against you. Some guys grab it and some guys don't. And I think before he ever won any major, wasn't that? Because he had a chance to win at Augusta. I think as his first major looked like it was going to be Augusta. He got to the back nine on Sunday and he hit one over into the cabins out of play. I think he took like an 8 or something. I remember what it was. Awful score, 6. And I think he ended up shooting 80 on the back and he was just awful. The Schauffele is another good story. I mean, I watched part of his Q&A the other day. And there's a guy that's just obviously, he's got that monkey off his back. Because, there's always the best player in the world without a major. And he was, I think, that guy for the last few years, right? And he won 2 last year. He won the PGA Championship in May, and then he won the Open Championship in July. He was his only 2 wins last year. They were both majors. He finished second in the Player of the Year voting to Scheffler. And once you've won one and got that off your back, I mean, it doesn't mean you still don't feel pressure, right? I mean, he talked about that too, about that, the pressure you feel on trying to, walk the same and think the same and keep yourself just calm, cool, and collected without thinking too. Because it was a cool answer because he was just about trying to blend all that together. Thinking ahead but not getting too far ahead, watching the leaderboard, knowing what you have to do, knowing where you are on the golf course, when to take risks, when not to. But once you've got your majors in your back pocket, I think it's just, I would just think it would be easier. Like for it tend to be, now that you've had an experience that's not unlike a PGA player when you shot that 74 at Pheasant Acres or Pheasant Run. My guess is that for you now, when you're going low, scuba low, like you often do, there's not that pressure to go really low because you've been there before, right?
Well, I haven't played a whole lot since that round. That's half the problem. But
I see.
I would say there was a time where my sole focus was just breaking 80. I just want to break 80. And you'd have a round going and you start to look at the scorecard and go, oh, I might have a chance of breaking 80 here. And it took me a couple times. It got in my head a little bit.
Right.
I still remember playing. It was one of the times I beat you at North Oaks. I think it was the second time I ever beat you. I had a chance to break 80 that day, and I think I was going into 16 on North Oaks. And I go, man, if I just go, I can go one over the last 3, and I'm going to break 80.
Did you hit it out onto Highway 96, or because 16 is the par 5 that runs along the road? 16 is the
par 5, and I had a drive that was in play. I hit a relatively good long iron on my second shot, but it was kind of on the left side. So I had a little bit of where I was kind of under some branches. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. You want to hit the yawn?
I'm going to find it, yeah. I actually like it myself. I can't, and you're having fun talking about it. I'm having fun listening about it. So hopefully the listeners
So I wasn't that far out, but because I had like a tree branch hanging around, I couldn't take a full shot. So I had to do a little punch and run. Well, me not knowing the course well enough, I didn't know the pin placement well enough. I got it to the front of the green. Problem is that was the back of the green pin, and I hadn't played that course enough to know how deep that green was.
It's very deep.
It was a long one. So I 3-putted there. I bogeyed, even though I liked the way I'd played up until that point. And then I shanked my drive on 17, and it was over. It was out. I hit it out of play.
Let me ask you this. When you made the third putt for the bogey, did you fist bump? Because I don't remember.
I was pretty disappointed with that bogey.
Because at that point, I was just staring at my shoes at that point because I was playing so poorly. It's some of the worst golf I've ever played.
But I would say now, if I was approaching that 80 territory, I would not have that same pressure on myself.
Right.
I'd want to break 80, but...
What do you think of Victor Hovland? He's won this year, and he was struggling for a long time. He had burst onto the scene. Didn't he win at TPC Twin Cities? I'm almost certain he did or finished second.
Early in his career?
Yeah, early in his career.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's a hell of a player, obviously. And he hadn't won in a while, and he won. He just beat JT, Justin Thomas, 3 weeks ago, I think, when Justin Thomas threw away a 2-shot lead with 3 holes to go. I don't remember which tournament that was. They all kind of run together at this point for me.
I thought didn't he make a comment, too, going into it about how he was so lacking so much confidence in his golf swing at that point.
Yeah, that he was basically terrible. And then all of a sudden he won the event. And Thomas had like a
he won the Valspar.
And then Thomas finished runner-up.
And he had missed 3 cuts before the Valspar.
Okay. And I think Thomas finished runner-up or third place, whatever the case may be. Thomas and Spieth, to me, are two interesting players. They're both very, very good. Thomas has 2 majors. Spieth, does he have 4? Is it 3 or 4?
He's won the Masters a couple times.
Yeah. Has he won it twice? I could have swore it was just once. But
I thought he won the Masters twice.
Maybe he has won it twice. I think he has maybe 3 or 4 majors. But both he and Thomas, I don't think have really been, and I could be missing a major somewhere along the line because my memory isn't a steel trap. But neither one has really threatened much.
I was wrong. He's only won the Masters once.
Yeah.
I think the other one he choked. He was in the mix.
He plunked it into the water on 12 like 3 times in a row. He hit his tee shot in there, took a drop, hit it in again. I think it was just twice he hit it in the water.
So 2015, he won the Masters, then he won the U.S. Open.
Okay.
And then he
in
won
the same year?
Yes.
Okay.
Then he won the Open Championship in 2017.
It looked like he was going to be what Scotty Scheffler is now. He was simply brilliant. It looked like he would. He and I have one thing in common. We comment after every shot we make. And I know that it annoys my playing partners, but 0 or 89.95 with cart. You tell me which is better for you. And
so Spieth, by the way, 2014 in Masters, tied for second. He won 2015, tied for second in 2016.
Yes.
Then took third in 2018. So
in the mix, year after year after year. And I would suppose one of those guys will break through again, either Thomas or Spieth will break through again, but I wouldn't count on it. I just don't know. I
think Thomas is in better form than Spieth is right now.
Yes.
Spieth's got the history of knowing Augusta, but
correct. I think you're
he's had a couple of years here now
I think you're spot on. I like Shane Lowry a lot. Another guy that's got a major. He won at Royal Portsmouth. Is that what they call it? Matter of fact, that's where the Open Championship is being played again this year. So he won it on his home soil, won the Claret Jug. He just seems to have the right attitude about golf. I mean, I think all deep down, they're all thrilled with where they've been, where they're going, where they're at. Spieth always seems like he's miserable most of the time, and it's like Lowry just seems like he's always having fun, and it doesn't bother him that much. And I love the way he plays golf.
He's young, wild, and free.
Yeah, and he looks like an everyman. He looks like you could just see him, over at Home Depot, or over at Target, going there to get a pair of athletic socks and walking out with Home Alone 2 on Blu-ray DVD. What do you think of Min-Woo Lee, Tenabe? Min-Woo Lee, Tenabe, finally won. He tried to give that one away, too. He watched a 5-shot lead dissipate to 1. Was that Scheffler chasing him down? Is that where Scheffler finished runner-up?
I think that's correct.
But he can flat out play. He hits the ball a country mile. Young. Probably, I don't like to do that. Well, because you're young, you can't win, because Tiger won at a young age. Of course, comparing Tiger to anybody else is probably fool's gold, but hard to win when you're, is this his first Masters, or has he played in another one? It's hard. First-time Master winners are almost impossible anyways. It's so hard. I mean, obviously somebody won the very first Masters, so that was a first time, and then I think in their first times playing, it was Horton Smith and Gene Sarazen from the olden days, and then it was Fuzzy Zeller.
This is Min-Woo Lee's 4th Masters.
Oh, he has played a number. Okay, I missed that. So maybe this is the time.
His best finish, he finished U.S. Open, tied for 5th in 2023. Okay. Other than that, doesn't have a top 10.
And then there are the
Min-Woo Lee, as you mentioned, can drive the ball a country mile. Yeah. Now, at Augusta, as you mentioned, you can spray the ball a little bit off the tee, but in terms of driving distance, obviously you want to be as close as you can because you got to be precise on your approach shots.
That's correct.
But he's also an elite putter.
Yes.
Now, I think sometimes just the people who know Augusta and know the greens can get away with it, and that can be a little bit of an evener. But if you could, obviously, putting is very important at Augusta. And he can putt.
And I'm leaving out other players. We'll get to them maybe tomorrow, maybe with Rosen. But then
we're going to do our Masters pool tomorrow.
Right. Okay. And then there's your live players. And there's 12 of them, I believe. And the only 4 that I think and again, watch somebody surprise me and win it. But the only 4 that I think really would have a chance would be Rahm, Neiman, Koepka, and DeChambeau, right? I think those are the only 4 that you would, if you could look at one of those 4. The others, I don't know. I
You're
think,
done with DJ?
Yeah, I don't think DJ cares.
He doesn't.
I don't think he cares.
He got his money.
He got his money, and he has won his majors, and he's even said.
What about Patrick Reed? He's done well at Augusta.
Yeah, he has. He's won a green jacket. He will always be able to return. I'm not paying attention to live golf at all, so I don't know how he's playing there.
No Phil, no Sergio?
No, I don't think Phil. I mean, Phil, that would be a great story. I could get behind Phil. And I don't mind Sergio either. I could get behind
Did you
him.
see Phil's shot last week?
No.
It just goes to show you that golf, just sometimes the golf gods aren't for you.
Yep.
He had an approach shot that hits the flag, knocks off the flag, and goes right into the water. So it's like you hit the ball as good as you can, and you lose strokes.
Neiman's got all the talent in the world, but he's never threatening a major as far as I know, and I just don't know if this week.
Gotta get over that hump.
I wouldn't be shocked if Rahm, Koepka, or DeChambeau was in Butler Cabin with Jim Nantz getting the tie. No, not the tie, the green jacket. That's what they give him. Getting the green jacket. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those guys, because Koepka said, I saw it, he goes, I've been getting ready for Augusta since December, because they're deep down, they don't really like the live stuff. They like the money, and it's okay, but they would. DJ likes it because he and his wife, he was getting tired of the travel, and so she said, I play 12 times a year, and they gave me $150 million. What the hell? Who cares if I win or not? But I could see, and then Rahm, the Rahm was the jump to live. I think most people were surprised at, because he's such a student of the game, and he's a historian, and legacies mean so much. And at first, remember, he said he wouldn't go.
Mm-hmm. He was vocal against it.
Yeah, then they kept dangling more money in front of him, and finally he did. But I could see any of those players winning it. I think what's going to be interesting, what I would love to see, and it's just ain't going to happen. Longer was supposed to. Bernard Longer's won 2 green jackets. He was supposed to. He still wins on the senior tour. He was supposed to have played his last Masters last year, but he had some Achilles injury. And then so he passed last year. This will be his final year. I'd love to see him make the cut. The only problem is, tend to be, when all the other players are hitting wedges into greens, he's hitting a hybrid. It's just really hard.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to compete with.
It's pretty amazing how well he always does there, though. Like, he makes cuts.
Yes, absolutely. And he said he talked to whoever, I can't think of the guy that's in charge of Augusta for these kinds of things. They have all these board members, chairman, whoever it was, but he went and he goes, by the way, I'm just kind of wondering, how long can I keep coming back? Is there a time? And he goes, no, you can come back as long as you want, but you will know when it's time. That's what Bernard was recanting the conversation. And then he said, and he was right, because I know it's time. He goes, I just can't compete anymore with these kids. I can't do it. I'd love to, but I can't. So be fun. Bernard will do if he doesn't make the cut, Friday will be walking off 18, tears rolling down the face. Auf Wiedersehen to our friend Bernhard Langer. So there's a little Masters talk for you. We'll do more tomorrow, maybe some today. We'll take a break. The legendary one, Mark Rosen, joins us next, right here on the Fan.
Something unexpected happened after Jeremy Scott confessed to killing Michelle Schofield in Bone Valley Season 1.
Every time I hear about my dad, he's a killer. He's just straight evil.
I was becoming the bridge between Jeremy Scott and the son he'd never known.
At the end of the day, I'm literally a son of a killer.
Listen to new episodes of Bone Valley Season 2 starting April 9th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.